Hello and welcome to Comicstorian Weekly, the weekly show that we talk about the comic books that came out this week. It is Andy and myself. Andy, how are you doing?
Not good. Not good at all. It's been a rough,
that sucks.
It's been a
for
rough
you.
couple of days. Anyway, let's move on to comic books.
All right, we're just going to go ahead and jump on in because that is a long story that if you want to hear, stop on by to our twitch.tv/Comicstorian channel where we do record this live every Thursday at roughly 2 p.m. Eastern. It is supported by our subscribers over there, as well as our Patreons at patreon.com/comicstorian, who get the unedited version where you can see all the little bits and pieces before, but
Ooh.
like between the me hitting
I'm not showing
record
anyone my bits and pieces.
that you know of.
That's true. That's on my OnlyFans.
Yet he still uses the AC. What a liar. Anyway, let's start up for today in our DC portion. The trade came out. We did not read it because we did not buy it, as I noticed. But Batman Earth 1 Volume 3 did come out.
I purchased the physical, but I haven't read it yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I saw it, and those ones, they're just a little too long to be able to read.
I mean, it's
with
a graphic
the rest of our
novel
stuff.
size. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, on to the first comic that I believe we both read, Batman the Detective #3. This is continuing Tom Taylor's run where he is currently in England. And at the end of the last one, Ducard got shot. And this is basically just the story of how he met him.
Yeah.
And kind of the origin of their relationship.
It's not a bad story, but in terms of like Tom Taylor, it's kind of low on the bar
It's more
for
of a
me.
Tom King.
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
Let's not insult the man.
In terms of, it wasn't very action-packed and more just, well, here's a setting.
And
lay down the groundwork.
I'm talking more about the series as a whole so far. Isn't it's not that it's bad or anything like that.
Not enough people have died.
Well, there's that. It's not. It's a weird.
Tom Taylor.
Wait, did Tom Taylor actually write this? No one has died yet. It's just not. I don't know. To me, it's not kind of like to the level I've associated Tom Taylor with.
Yeah, same.
Personally.
That being said, though,
not bad. It's not bad. No, it's a very good story. Yeah,
it's a fun one. I think
it's just more of a standard Batman story. It is kind of what it feels like to me.
Yeah, it is. I'm still not completely sold on the art style of Bruce Wayne.
The
like
Andy
it looks
Kubert,
a little too Logan.
He does. Yeah, he does have a little more Logan.
It does look Bruce, but you know what? It was still a decent issue. It was kind of fun seeing Batman before he had fully learned everything. So still a fun story.
A new Christopher Nolan movie, Batman Before. It's just Bruce hanging out. It's like when he's a little kid, like happy with his parents. It's Batman Before.
And at the very end, it's them leaving Toro.
Oh, we're going to a movie? Awesome.
You know what? I think I'd watch that.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to our next one, the compilation issue of Batman Urban Legends #4. This one had the continuation of the Red Hood and Batman. We had a Batwing solo issue story, basically.
Story, yeah.
We had the Tim Drake as well as Grifter. So starting off, Red Hood and Batman. I'm enjoying this one.
I am, yeah. This, honestly, out of all of them, the Red Hood and Batman one have been my favorite.
Yeah. Just because it's exploring a different side of their relationship, as well as going into bits where it's like, oh wow, like Red Hood just asked for Batman. That's like even they make the comment where they're like, she's like, it's bit. He asked for Batman,
and he's like, I'm on my way, Batmobile.
So I'm really enjoying the Red Hood and Batman
of the
story.
anthology so far, that has been my favorite one.
Yeah, it's really good. Honestly, the issue is worth buying for that story, and then you just get the cherry on top with the rest of them because the other ones are still good.
You're good. They're not bad by any stretch. But like I said, yeah, the Red Hood is just the best to me. Although I want to say the Tim Drake one was pretty good in this too, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through to remind myself because of the fact that obviously Batman, there's so many different Batman stories.
So many.
So
many members of the Bat family.
The Batwing story was just a fun little one of Batwing trying to figure out he's going up against the Riddler.
Yeah.
There's not too much else to be said about it. Nothing really crazy happens. And then we go to the Tim Drake one where he has been looking into the kidnappings of a bunch of kids that are around his age. He's trying to figure it out. He meets up with an old friend. Standard story.
Yeah, nothing.
Still
Yeah,
fun.
it's good. Yeah.
I really like the art of it. I don't know who the artist is, but it was just very clean. I'm trying to scroll.
I like my Batman comics clean.
Belaine Ortega
Doesn't sound familiar.
or Bellin. I don't know how to properly say it.
Balane.
No, sorry. It's definitely not Bellin. But hey, you know what? I don't
It's
know.
a French
I don't know.
artist, I believe.
I don't know.
Bellinet.
It's Latin for a whales. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not sure if I can say that on here.
Diago.
All right, so the Grifter comic portion in this one, I have been enjoying the Grifter.
I have, yeah, it's been pretty good.
It's just been a fun story because it's kind of like the best way to describe the Grifter portion is if it was a Red Hood story, if Red Hood had a little more Deadpool in him.
Yeah, that's probably a good way to put it, yeah.
It was just a fun one. My favorite part is he's trying to trap Batman, but he accidentally traps Superman, and he's talking on the microphone with whoever
it
his
is that he
person
talks
is.
to, yeah.
And I need to find the line because it was without my. They just go, "Whoa, that's bad. Is he hot?" And he's like, "You're asking me that now? Of course he's hot. He's like the most attractive dude I've ever seen."
I didn't remember them saying that.
And it was just one of those moments where it's like, even during this, it's got a nice touch of humor because they throw that stuff in there, but it's still got a serious tone to the overall story. Batman Urban Legends #4, pick it up. I think it's
The anthology series has been pretty solid, I gotta say.
I've been really happy with it, and I think it's probably honestly the best book coming out of DC right now because of the fact that you get more than one comic in it.
Yeah, you get basically 4 comics for the price of 2 comics.
Exactly.
Which is
and
a pretty good deal.
And they're good
Yeah,
comics.
and they are actually. The downside is if you're not interested in the Bat Family,
I don't know why
you probably shouldn't buy this book.
Urban Legends.
Yeah.
But
I like the stories about Gotham, but I hate the Bat Family.
I hate them so much.
Yeah.
But Grifter. Actually, there you go.
I mean, that is, that's
you
pretty
go.
solid, yeah.
All right, so moving on, we've got Detective Comics 1037. Just continuing.
Bruce is a murderer.
Yeah, the whole.
Or is he? He's not. Just so you know.
That's basically it. Is they're
Spoiler
searching
alert.
for what's been happening to these people with the weird eye parasite.
Yeah, I don't like the
thing.
eye parasites. Just so we're clear on
Creepy.
that. Yeah,
I honestly don't even know it's fully relating to everything.
I don't
else
either. Huntress is cool though. I don't know why she doesn't have her own book or why she's not in the anthology book.
Just you wait. After this one, she's getting her own urban legend.
Is she?
I don't know.
Oh,
That would be
okay.
Cool.
I thought you were actually
I would-
because they would explain why
would
she's
read
suddenly
it.
popping up. Yeah.
Yeah, I would read it.
Yeah.
Huntress is a cool character.
Yep.
But
Both versions of her.
Yeah.
Because there's alternate versions.
there's way too many different versions. But this one I kind of liked because it really showed the power and influence behind just other rich people in Gotham.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Of how one of them's like, yeah, clear out the precinct. I'm gonna
Oh, so I have a missile launcher
Grab
in
my
the trunk of my
RPG.
super nice luxury car.
yeah. It's
Whenever I buy a luxury car, I always get room in the trunk for my RPG. Always.
prepare you. Just make sure you're always prepared.
The more you know.
Just be careful not to hit speed bumps too fast.
Well,
otherwise
yeah, obviously.
you
Well,
get in a
you
little
don't
trouble.
arm the RPG to begin with. I mean,
Hey, you
there's
never
like
know.
buttons you gotta
You never-
push. I know you've never actually handled an RPG.
I have not. I have
There's
not.
like
I have
buttons you
not.
got. It's not like
I
a simple.
assumed it was just I grabbed it, I put it in, and I pressed the button. That's what I
Boom.
just assumed, and then you always left one in it at all times.
At all times.
But the Detective Comics, I mean, it's all right. It hasn't been my favorite Batman
No, I
story.
think the art is really good because I'm a real big fan of Dan Mora's art.
Yep.
The story itself isn't bad. It's just nothing special.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to say it.
Although I am liking street level Batman because I've
I
said
am
for a
too.
while I need to go back to being street level Batman.
I think Batman's in a good place right now of they still allow him to have like his bat caves kind of.
Right.
But each of them are not as well equipped and they're more of just safe places as opposed to mini bat
That's
caves.
what I want him to say. One time he needs like a tool or something. He's like, "Ah, man, it's in Batcave 1B. Damn it! All right, I'll be back in 30 minutes."
I wish that at some point he goes into one of these and he looks down and he's like, "Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?" "Dear Batman, I took the grappling hook. I'll get you a new one."
Tim.
Dick.
I was gonna say Tim.
Tim would make his own. Dick's at the point where he's like,
Dick's
"I've been
super rich."
Exactly. He's like, "I'll just pay you back." He actually takes it and leaves like $100 bill.
There you go. Buy yourself a new one. He's like, "Here's a couple extra $100. Buy yourself
Yeah.
something nice."
Alfred says hi. Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Pennyworth. R.I.P.
Rest in Penny. Wait, no. Anyway.
R.I.P.P.
All right, so moving on, we've got Far Sector number 12. This was the final issue of the Far Sector story. Really good. It was a great conclusion, cleared everything up, had a good amount of action. Also, basically just finishes it in a way that you go, okay, they might use this city, the City of Enduring again sometime in the future, but it was a good way for them to finish up Joe before she heads back to the current Green Lantern stuff. If you weren't aware, Joe Mulane is a new kind of Green Lantern. Her ring is self-charging, so it does not require the battery, which is why when the battery is destroyed in Green Lantern, she's still a Green Lantern. If you're curious,
It's not like a docking station now.
and she's just like, it's more of like a, oh, where's the sun? It's solar powered. I gotta
Flip out
shade.
solar panel.
Exactly. No, it was actually really fun. I think this was a really good story. If you don't have too much interest, this isn't like,
Yeah. It ain't gonna grab you.
it's not gonna fully grab you. The art's beautiful. The story was really solid. If you're curious about the character, if you want to see maybe a Green Lantern that is truly a cop in just a big city, which the city's big, for the record, the city's big enough that it's basically more than one Earth amount of people in it. But if you like that kind of, it kind of gives me like a Star Wars vibe when it comes to the city, honestly, just the big difference between it. But it was a fun story. It's completely done now, so you could pick up all 12 issues. Check it out. So Far Sector number 12, I enjoyed it. I thought it was actually really good. So moving on, we've got Future State Gotham number 2. This time the black and white art, knowing that it's intentional,
Okay.
I was more okay with it.
Sure. Yeah.
There were parts where I'm like, okay, a little bit of color would have been nice. A little more detail might have been nice.
Yeah.
But as a whole, as the story, it's actually pretty good.
It's pretty. Yeah.
Have you read?
I didn't read the first one, and I kind of skimmed through this one. It's okay.
So
Yeah.
in this one, it's during the Magistrate still. Red Hood has become Peacekeeper Red, and we learn in this one why he became a mask hunter, as well as why he is Peacekeeper Red, as well as where and what is Batman doing.
Right.
Like Bruce Wayne, Batman, during all of this, what is he doing? This one kind of goes into it. But yeah, like I said, there were parts of the art where you look at it and you're like, I mean, you can't really see very well in there, but
because it's black
you
and
look
white,
at it and you're like, I can't tell if this was the first draft,
Right, it
or
almost
if
looks
they
like
wanted
they were
to
like,
focus on a different page.
All right, so here you go. These are just the rough drafts, and they're like, "No, this is good, man. We're just gonna run with these.
This one's nice.
We're gonna run with that one."
But I mean, it's a fun story. It is
Yeah.
growing on me. We get a bit in this where it's the new Batman versus Red Hood. We've got a moment where, like, I'm pretty sure it's in this one where the new Batman actually gets captured, and they smash open the mask, and they're like, "Wait, this guy's black. Batman's not black." He's like, "No, I'm still Batman." But it's got a little bit on it. You know what? The end of this is what I wanted from next Batman Second Son.
Okay.
The backup of this is exactly what I wanted from that story, because it has him being Batman as well as his sidekick, who is apparently also a family member. I won't say which one.
Which one?
You could probably guess because of the fact that it's kind of like
kid.
It's
Yeah.
Batman. So who would he endanger? No.
Children.
Still fantastic. I actually really enjoyed it. I won't lie, this one grew on me.
Like a fungus.
It might not.
What?
It might not grab you fully if you didn't enjoy the first one. If you don't like that black and white art style, but I still enjoyed it. Moving on, we've got the Joker #4. Did you read this one?
I did read this one.
I'll
yeah.
let you talk about this one. a little
So
bit
pretty
now.
much it's the war between the gangs right now and Joker's hired crew.
Yes.
um,
I don't know if it's a hired crew or staff of the resort.
hostage staff. Basically, they're all going to war with each other to get to the Joker and the Joker's forces, and Gordon is just kind of like trying not to get caught in the crossfire.
Mm-hmm.
And then Joker kind of just kidnaps him. And that's pretty much it. And then the Joker kind of has a few pages of monologue with Gordon about how they're kind of the same.
Yeah.
And they both basically enable Batman.
Yeah.
Essentially is what his monologue is about. It was a pretty interesting monologue. It was a pretty good issue,
It was
honestly,
a good
overall.
point of view.
Yeah,
Like,
it
it was
was.
kind of one of those ones where you're like, it's Joker, but
He's kind of
Got a
making some
point, yeah.
sense. Yeah, like if everybody just ignored Batman, he would just go away because he'd be insane.
yeah.
Overall, I'm really enjoying this series. I think the idea of having Gordon hunt down the Joker was very good. And then at the end of this issue, spoiler alert, Joker gets away. I know. But then Gordon's going to have to keep hunting him down. That's what they do. And they're still trying to figure out who his mysterious benefactor is. And we pretty
That's
much
right.
learn who it is. That's like the side plot of the issue. They're trying to figure out who the mysterious benefactor is. Although we kind of do.
We know who it is.
Yeah, we know who it is. I don't want to spoil it. I already spoiled the Joker getting away thing.
It's Superman.
What? How crazy would that be?
That'd be one hell of a
there's your
twist.
twist. Overall, so far, really enjoying the series. I think it's a great idea so far. Like I said, originally when I thought it was just a Joker solo series, I was like, that's not going to be good.
Yeah.
But having
This
Gordon
one's
hunt
been
him down
good.
is a pretty
Yeah.
solid
It's
idea.
more of a Gordon and Joker.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why
the
they...
Joker and Gordon.
Probably because if they called it Gordon,
You know
it
what?
wouldn't have sold.
They could have done it as Joker and Jim.
Yeah. DC
Joker
Comics
and Jim,
presents
#1.
JJ in Gotham. But yeah, overall, very good.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it, yeah.
It is really good. I would recommend picking it up.
Mm-hmm.
So, moving on from there, we've got Justice League Last Ride #2. This one gives you the origin story of what caused the Justice League to break up, kind of what happened to Martian Manhunter, and kind of has a little bit more as to where they're taking Lobo and all of that kind of stuff. And
Is this one
good.
supposed to lead into the Future State Justice League? No, okay.
this is its own thing.
Okay. Because,
Yeah.
in the Future State Justice League, John and Yara were talking. They were like, you remember the old rules, and then there was that whole thing that forced the team to break up.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure if that was supposed to lead into
As
it.
far as I'm aware, this is its own little
Okay.
side thing that is just Chip Zdarsky got to write Justice League.
It
and
is
this
really
the
solid.
story he
Yeah.
wanted to
It's
write.
pretty good so
It's
far.
really good. I'm
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. It's giving me some the background story of this gave me vibes of Justice League Apocalypse War, the animated movie.
Yeah.
It's giving me some vibes of that.
I could see that.
The one thing that did kind of irk me a little bit was the fact that they're using Wally West Flash, but in the Barry Allen Flash costume. Because I
Yeah.
only know Wally as his red hair's showing. in the
Sure,
Flash.
yeah. Well, I think it depends on which version, they want to go with. Because for the longest time, Wally West was just running around in the Flash costume.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this must
Like
be
when he
that
was
one,
first
yeah.
introduced, obviously he was Kid Flash, but in the 90s, I believe he took over for Barry and just
so it
wore.
was before he came,
Right.
before Barry came back.
Exactly.
He's like, no, see, red hair.
Yeah. So for a while,
Okay,
he just
that makes
wore
a
the
little
Flash
more
costume.
sense.
Yeah.
I mean, as you guys know, I don't have the longest history
Sure, yeah.
with comics, so I actually was not aware of that. So
Philistine.
I know. All right, so moving on, we've got our last DC comic of the week. Wonder Woman number 773. Oh, yeah. This is the conclusion to Wonder Woman being in Asgard.
Yep.
The Valkyries, the reason why everyone in Valhalla is not coming back and that kind of stuff.
It's because the Valkyries got sick of it.
Yes and no.
Yeah, yeah.
But did you read this one?
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't actually
because I
aware
had
you were
missed
reading
the
this
last one because I wasn't feeling good that week. But
Right.
I was like, oh,
It's a good
It's
story.
pretty solid, yeah. And then she ends up back in Greece.
Yep.
And it's not so good.
Things are not good at all.
I want her to just jump from pantheon to pantheon. It's gonna be awesome.
I honestly thought that this was going to be something like that, and she was going to think she was going to end up in Olympus, but end up in another.
Yeah, a different one.
Like, yeah.
She's on like Chinese mythology. Nothing makes sense to me now.
Why is Wukong the Monkey King here?
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would
Fun
actually
fact,
that would be really cool,
if you guys remember the Asian Celebration issue, they introduced a character known as the Monkey Prince. And
I don't remember that.
The Monkey Prince and the Monkey King. Here's a big tangent for you. Even without Benny, you get tangents. And if you weren't aware, Goku from
it's based
Dragon
off
Ball
the Monkey King.
is based off the Monkey King. And apparently the reason why they're bringing this in is to pseudo give you eventually a Superman versus Goku fight.
That is actually pretty cool.
I thought that was a fun little tidbit of information.
Yeah, I like that.
And then we also got the backup issue, which was the is it Gurihiru?
Yeah, something
That's
like that.
the artist. It's very much more kid friendly.
Yeah. It's like Saturday morning cartoon Wonder Woman.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. It's the story of her when she was a kid and like learning the history and stuff like that. I mean, it wasn't bad.
It was okay, but the main draw is obviously
Exactly.
her figuring out the whole Asgard thing.
Yep. So moving on to Marvel portion of today, we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 68, The Chameleon Conspiracy.
One away from 69. Nice.
If they don't at any point in there go
Nice.
they
gotta say it on the cover.
Spider-Man.
Nice.
So this one, it starts off with how we ended the last one with Peter Parker's sister. We learn that she's not sure if she's real or not. But then most of this is about... Did you read this?
I did not, no.
Okay, so it's about...
I had my own thought that her name would be Patrice Parker, and that made me laugh.
Oh.
Sorry.
So this one is about... My big problem with this is it goes into the hobgoblin of Ned something or other. I don't know his last name. And I can't remember the name. It's that guy. The guy who's died before.
Yeah.
And they thought was dead, but apparently isn't dead and got
the
girl pregnant who I've forgotten her name.
Not good with names.
I'm not good with names. But it was a lot of flashbacks to explaining who that was, explaining kind of where they showed up. But not too much really happened. I was not very pleased with this issue. I felt very... It did not feel like a Spider-Man issue.
Right. Okay.
So take from that what you will. If you're interested in the Chameleon, the Hobgoblin, maybe check it out. If you are unsure, like me, maybe wait a couple more issues, see what I say. Maybe I can, it'll change my mind and I'll change your mind. But overall, meh.
Fair enough.
So moving on to the next comic, we've got Children of the Atom number 4. 100% confirmed they are not mutants.
Yes, it's all like technology that's giving
They're
them
all
powers.
technology
They're
based.
just muty
which
groupies.
They are hardcore.
That means
these
one
are the
of
kids
them...
that go, or the fans that literally would go, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna spend hundreds of dollars on that glove because Cyclops wore it one time."
It's
but
sad.
It's
what it is.
Honestly, this issue I started off.
Yeah,
losing me.
it was
too fanboy.
Yeah, it got pretty fanboy-y, and
it's just
I don't know, like, it's not grabbing me, and I could see how maybe I'm just not the main audience for this comic.
Yeah.
Because
I have a feeling I'm not either.
Yeah,
However, it did end in a way that made me go,
Okay, could be
maybe,
cool now.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean, my issue is, and it's not saying that it's bad. It's not blaming the comic in and of itself. It's the problem is I'm a 35-year-old man who can't always associate with the problems of like teenagers and things like that.
yeah,
Because I'm no longer a teenager or in my early 20s.
nor is the world anything similar to when we were teenagers.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? So sometimes when I read teenager superhero comics,
Yeah.
I can't always get behind the story
Same.
because I can't always get behind the issues they're dealing with outside of being a superhero.
Yeah.
Nothing against the comic, because in and of itself, the comic isn't bad.
It wasn't bad. I mean,
No.
I wasn't the
It's
biggest
just
fan.
it wasn't for me.
all,
Yeah,
but-
it's
yeah.
the best way I can put it.
It was almost, the whole being in high school and like that kind of stuff is hard to relate to.
It's hard for
and
me.
connect.
Yeah.
But overall, though, I'm not impressed. Hopefully, the next issue, with the way this one ended, hopefully the next issue is going to be good. This one does take place prior to the X-Men comic that came out this week. The reason why I say that is this is not one of the important ones.
For the Hellfire Gala. Yeah.
Well, for the Hellfire Gala, and in general, if you weren't aware, at the end of these comics, it does have a list of all the different ones. The important ones are in red, and it
Yep.
also gives you a reading order. So, but speaking of X-Men stories that are related to the gala, we've got the Excalibur number 21. So it's going into a lot.
It wasn't
of,
a crazy issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the interpersonal issues between the members of Excalibur.
It's kind of the
mutant
breathing issue and
Kinda,
like
yeah.
interlude of we just did all the stuff in Avalon.
Yeah.
Let's show you what they're doing, what England's doing
Yeah.
about it.
I'll say this issue is about the interpersonal between the team and mutants in the United Kingdom. It's
And
kind of what it
Richter.
is. And Richter.
Missing Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Missing A.
He does seem to miss Apocalypse.
He does, even in part of this, he
Yeah.
goes, people keep forgetting who brought us here. I still remember you, A. He
and then
even says that.
And then he flips his hair. Life is pain.
Basically what he did. Like
I
this
know. He
entire
was being
issue.
pretty mopey the whole issue.
He
was a very emo druid.
It was an okay issue.
Yeah.
Maybe it's gonna have a little bit more.
Well,
But
I mean,
it definitely
once
was
they
the
get,
interlude.
I was gonna say it's the interlude between arcs. I think.
This one was just very clearly a Hellfire Gala's going on. Fill space.
We don't even need to do anything. Just draw everybody in funny costumes. I'm sorry, fashion.
Oh my God, we're not even gonna talk. Well, we will talk
Which
about
one?
it when
Let's
we get
talk
to the
about
main
which one.
X-Men.
Oh, okay, all right.
When we get to the X-Men.
Because some of their fashion. Now, granted, I'm not an aficionado. An aficionado? Is that like an aficionado of a fashion?
don't know.
An aficionado. I am not an aficionado, but some of these costumes or gowns or whatever are utterly ridiculous.
all of them. All of them are
Some
terrible.
of them are just like, decently like.
the ones that didn't dress up.
Well, no, who is it? Colossus is just wearing like a really nice suit, it looks like. Yeah,
exactly.
that's fine.
The
I get-
ones that were like, I look good in a jacket. As
I also
opposed
then
to
like the Avengers who just show up in uniform.
Yeah.
Like, Steve, you didn't have like a dress uniform or something you could have worn?
not enough stars and stripes on his suits.
Anyway, sorry, that's my tangent for the day.
All right. So moving on, we've got our first Heroes Reborn of the week. Heroes Reborn number 6, Power Princess issue. Probably one of my favorites of the Heroes Reborn so far.
It's Wonder Woman if she wasn't such a sissy.
It's Injustice Wonder Woman.
Yeah, that's actually a very good way to put it. It's Injustice Wonder Woman.
Like,
I
it's just
it, yeah.
going through her different stories, how she beat the crap out of people. We've got Algog, who, honestly, I don't know who Algog is supposed to be, but besides his head, his costume looks like One Punch Man.
So Gog, he showed up. He's been in Marvel Comics for a while.
I know who Gog is. I
Yeah.
don't know the combining that they're doing.
He took the powers of Allfather when he killed him.
That's
so
what
now
it is.
he's the
Okay.
Allgog. Yeah.
Okay,
That's
I
what it's
wasn't
supposed
sure
to be.
if it was like he had merged with someone.
Sort of like
okay.
Dr. Juggernaut.
Yes.
Yeah.
But okay, so
No,
that
yeah.
makes
It was
more
just
sense
he has
now.
the powers of Allfather.
So
Fantastic.
good.
Very fun issue.
So, so good. You learn that she had a relationship with Namor at one point. The Bifrost is now an axe.
So good.
But the main thing in this is we get the information behind why Thor never became Thor.
Oh,
what
yes.
happened to Asgard without Thor? What was he doing this entire time?
Drinking
Yes.
is the answer.
Out of he's like
a mead horn that never runs out.
he's like, I never questioned.
Which is a very Thor thing to do.
It's very Thor thing to do. Very, very Thor.
Yeah, overall, I liked it. I like the little interludes that make it sound, kind of mix her history with like the Thor from the normal 616 universe.
Yep.
You get like the one where it's old lady, Power Princess, and young Zarda, and they're all teaming up against Gore. Yeah, I thought this was a lot of fun. It was a good issue. And the actual backup, or not backup, I guess,
Well,
but
the backup
the
is
back
the Thor.
of the back half of the issue is Thor becoming Thor, which we haven't gotten a whole lot of for the other Avengers. Usually it's just like Blade's
Yeah.
like, hey Steve, you want to help me save the
Hey,
world?
guess what? Things are weird.
Let's go.
I will say, so this one, fantastic issue. That being said, this is issue 6 of 7, and I'm a little disappointed by that. I feel like most of these should have been tie-ins, and Heroes Reborn should have been a main story, where in actuality it's been Heroes Reborn, Hyperion, Heroes Reborn, Nighthawk.
Well, the only thing is, if you really think about it, me and Ben were talking about this actually yesterday. If you really think about it, the culmination of this is just going to be a fight.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, it's sort of like the Phoenix tournament thing. It's like we got 6 issues of pointless plot to have it not make any sense. So why not get some of the fun side things from this universe, and in the end we'll just have a fight. We'll call it good.
See, what I was expecting or hoping for was like around 3, we'd
start getting more of the plot.
We would know who the people were, as well as what happened to the Avengers. 4 and 5 would be something going into, this is kind of how we got here.
Right.
Or sorry, this would be the start of the fight. 6 would be this is how Mephisto had something to do with it. And 7's the conclusion. So, because this one made me go, I will now read a story about Power Princess.
Right.
And then I finished it.
I just want this universe to be
done.
normal.
Yeah. And if you were curious, this really isn't Marvel's version of the Justice League. It's Marvel's version of the Crime Syndicate.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I think...
See, I think they should do a alternate universe Squadron Supreme like this, sort of like they did with Spider-Gwen for a while.
I would forget.
Where like the first couple volumes of her graphic novel were her universe, so you got to see the weird.
Hell, you know what would have made it even better is if it truly was the Crime Syndicate and it was similar to that, and then eventually they came to our universe.
I like it.
In the same way of Forever Evil. I think it is.
Yeah, Forever Evil.
So anyway, Heroes Reborn number 6. Fantastic issue. I recommend picking it up. If you haven't been enjoying Heroes Reborn, pick this one up only because this one, you don't really need anything else.
No, not really.
All you need to know is it's a mix up with a bunch of things. That's why there are combinations of people.
Yeah.
So, all right. So moving on to our next one, we got Heroes Reborn Night-Gwen number 1.
Or Marvel's Batgirl.
Marvel's Batgirl. Like even her costume is
Batgirl
on a motorcycle.
She's Nightbird.
But this one, they kind of combined her with Harley Quinn a little bit.
A little bit, because she works at Ravencroft
As like
and
a
stuff.
psychiatrist.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I thought it was a fun issue. Yeah, I thought it was cool. It's seeing her like she has a relationship.
Yep.
Relationship. They weren't 100%
with
saying
Misty,
it.
yeah.
With Misty, seeing kind of how the Luke Cage and all of them deal with the capes and things like that. And I thought the villain was a little.
It's less Batgirl, excluding her costume, more Batwoman and like Monet Rontoya.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Renee Montoya. Monet Rontoya.
Actually, yeah, I didn't even think about that. It is Batwoman. Yeah.
Yeah.
At like 100%.
100%.
Even the costume pretty much looks like Batwoman.
Yeah, after
now
I
that you
say that, I'm
yeah.
like, yeah.
She's got the motorcycle that Batwoman always runs around with.
Even in the exact same pose of they're going around a corner, so she's touching her knee to the ground.
Yeah.
Which, for the record,
not healthy.
Make sure you got knee pads and make sure your toes are tucked, because there's nothing more nerve-wracking than when you hit a turn and you go deep and your toe hits the ground.
And that's how Dan lost his toe.
That's why I wear... Oh, these are my house shoes. That's why I wear my motorcycle boots that are upstairs, because I did that once and I ruined a pair of shoes. Anyway, actually, no, it was my motorcycle boots, and it's just like... Anyway.
Smooth.
Anyway, that's your motorcycle lesson from Dan for the day.
Very good issue.
Yes.
Very enjoyable. My only problem with it was I felt the villain was a little meh.
Wasn't it Bullseye?
No, Bullseye would have been fine. It was the Jackal, but not the Jackal.
Oh,
it was
that's
this
right.
alternate version of the Jackal, which I thought was a little eh.
I thought it was but I did like the twist with it.
Yeah.
The twist with it, I was like, okay, you know what? This kind of had a almost a Batman Hush vibe.
Kind of, yeah, I guess a little bit, yeah. But overall, very good.
This was Batwoman Hush. No. That was Heroes Reborn, Night-Gwen, #1.
Night-Gwen.
On to our last
It'd be funny if she was
Heroes
actually
Reborn.
called Night-Gwen. It's like one of those things where they're like, how did you figure out my secret identity?
It's in your name.
Dr. Gwen Stacy, you're Night-Gwen?
Who would have thunk? Anyway, keep going.
You know, it would be even better, though, if they were like, wait, no, it's too obvious.
Nah.
She's a doctor.
Couldn't be her, no.
So on to our last Heroes Reborn. We've got the Squadron Savage #1, which is the Suicide Squad.
Yep.
It was fun. It's just a Black Ops.
Of the 3 books, this was probably my lowest for the week. Not that it was a bad issue.
It was the lowest of this week, not my lowest of all of the Heroes Reborn side stories.
That would have been Spider-Man for me. The
100%.
Shutterbug. Yeah.
100%.
This one's fun. It's basically, it's like their Suicide Squad. There is some cool twists at the end.
There's some cool twists. There's some like interesting ways that you're like, oh, that's very interesting how they would do that. And like, at first you're like, oh, in this universe, someone's like Frank Castle's family is alive.
Awesome.
And then later on you go,
oh no.
Oh
no. But then the real big twist at the end, the twisty twist.
The twisty twist.
About the leader of the group is very twisty.
I actually don't remember what twist we're referring to.
That's fine. I just don't want to spoil it. I spoil a lot of crap.
We
on this
do
show.
sometimes,
yeah, so.
a lot of the time.
Sorry.
We're sorry, but at the same time,
We're
I feel
sorry.
like stories that are good enough that we do spoil a little bit are so good that they're
Still worth reading.
Big time. Almost a little more so when you're like, wait, how is that?
I know there's going to be a twist. Overall, very good though. I enjoyed it. Yeah. Like I said, of the 3 this week, this would be my lowest, but definitely not the lowest of Heroes Reborn. Still a very fun story.
All right, moving on. We've got Iron Man #9.
Didn't read it.
If you enjoy Iron Man being in your comics, this is not the one for you. He doesn't appear in it. This is Korvax, Korvac, the current villain in Iron Man.
Oh, okay.
Explains how he became who he is, and also we learn that the original Human Torch, we find out his origin and the fact that Korvac was made in the same way.
Oh.
So the original Human Torch was Atom 1.
Mm-hmm.
Korvac is Atom 4.
Oh, okay.
So, 1, I liked it because you go, who are 2 and 3?
That's a good question.
Like, I like that, leaving that open. But then there's potentially going to be getting this Human Torch back into the universe, which the way that they're doing it could be actually really cool.
I like the original Human Torch.
Yeah,
I think he's cool, yeah. I also like, because he was in the Invader comic too.
Yeah. That's actually the only reason I knew of him.
Yeah.
But yeah, Iron Man #9 doesn't have Iron Man in it. Well, it does for 2 pages, but it's not actually Iron Man when it comes down to it. But I mean, it was solid for what it was. But this Iron Man run has not really. I haven't been enjoying it as much as I did. Like, I mean, heck, Iron Man 2020 I thought was actually pretty solid. Invincible Iron Man. This one was it's kind of been dragging its feet a little bit. So moving on, we've got Spider-Man, the Spider's Shadow #3.
This is a good issue.
This was a really good issue.
Yeah.
This,
I like the horror aspect to
I'm
this.
really
Spider
enjoying
Shit.
Spider's Shadow. If you weren't aware, this is the one that he keeps the symbiote.
He basically becomes Venom.
He becomes Venom
Yeah.
and starts killing people. And this is the issue we all knew that was going to happen. Is Venom taking over? Is Peter a part of this?
Yeah.
What exactly is going on here? But still, I am loving this.
Yeah, I think it's really good.
Part 3 of 5. Not too much else needs to be said.
No, honestly, it's really solid. If you like Spider-Man and Venom, and this is almost like it's a horror comic. It's a horror version of the Venom plotline. So
it's an Injustice version of Spider-Man in a way.
Which is cool. I'm down with that.
I'm totally down for it. So, but yeah, Spider-Man, Spider's Shadow number 3. Not much else needs to really be said.
No.
Moving on, we got Strange Academy number 11.
Yeah, right.
So, Toph, the ice giant, gets attacked in the middle of the night, gets absolutely shattered, quite literally.
Oh.
They bring in Howard the Duck to help figure out who did it.
Well, that makes sense.
Which he even makes a comment of when he sees the crime scene of, okay, that would look awful if it was not a guy that was a crystal.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it would have been horrible.
Would have been blood everywhere.
But this is kind of going into a little bit more behind the students and how they do take after their parents. They don't have full control of their powers. Some of them are changing into different things, kind of. It was a fun story. I thought it was interesting. I mean, Strange Academy has gotten me a lot more than I thought it was going to.
Fair enough.
For a story about kids.
Kids.
Moving on, we've got Web of Spider-Man, number 1, another new Spider-Man comic.
God, so many.
Did you read it?
No, I didn't.
So it was weird.
There's your review.
Honestly, I wasn't entirely sure like what age group they're making Peter in this, because he goes to WEB, which is what does it stand for? Worldwide Engineering Brigade. But the people there are like young scientists. So we've got like a kid who's friends with Tony Stark, or at least it looks like a kid with the art. We've got daughter of a Wakandan engineer, and we've got Moon Girl.
Okay.
And so it was just very interesting, and like the art style of Peter makes him look a lot younger.
Yeah.
But the fact of the other people that they've put in this make it seem like he should still be older.
Yeah.
So that was a weird one. I don't know if this is even in continuity or not. But it's an okay little side story. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a real opinion of it. It's just a Spider-Man story.
Yeah.
So
There's a lot of those recently.
Yeah, way too many. Anyway, on to our last comic of the week, and apparently I feel my voice fading.
I was gonna say I can hear it. Yeah. I mean, mine's a little raspy too from the allergies.
Allergies,
and stuff, so.
crazy. Anyway, X-Men number 21. This is the main X-Men Hellfire
Where they
Gala.
announced the book, or not the book, the team.
We announced the new team. One of the characters I don't even recognize. I'm not going to spoil this because I'm not Marvel's Twitter. So I'm going to show you him. I don't know who that is.
Not a clue.
Okay. The other ones, I am a big fan. I will spoil one of them. X-23 Wolverine is on.
When did she come out of the chamber, the vault? What issue was that?
That was, I want to say, I'm pretty sure it was the X-Men comic that came out during the week that you were sick.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, last time I saw her,
very
she was
worth
in the
reading
vault.
for the
Okay,
record,
I'll go
because
back
it
and check out.
explains everything that happened to her.
Yeah.
Her relationship with one of the other guys that went in there, and it's very, very interesting.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, this one, it was okay. We get a moment between Charles and Magneto with Namor, and they're like, well, hopefully we can join together and mutants, and he's like, okay, guys, I control 70% of the earth. You guys have an island. Talk to me when you got more.
Namor out.
I mean, that's basically what he does. This is that art that I was telling you about, how they all stand.
Oh,
like,
yeah, they're...
Yes.
We're
with a-
superheroes. I'm going to start standing like this more often.
But yeah, this is just just kind of the issue that explains everything that's going on, kind of how some of the people feel about it, as well as the new X-Men team.
I feel like the whole Hellfire Gala, I guess it's kind of like a mini event, and it's kind of, I think it's a way for the writers to kind of breathe.
It's like a mini event and like a maxi disappointment.
Yeah, there you go. I feel like it's like a way for the writers to breathe, and they can all just be like, how does everybody feel about what's been happening?
I feel like it's exactly that, as well as all right, all of those plots that have happened up until this point, they've all wrapped up. Let's go forward with new stuff.
We'll sprinkle in some new stuff.
Exactly. Let's change the status quo a little bit once more, because we've also got Nimrod in the equation. So there's a lot of different stuff going on. Overall, it wasn't a horrible issue. It wasn't the worst of the X-Men Hellfire Gala issues. It's worth reading if you kind of want to see a little bit more behind. This one basically just goes, here is the gala, why it's happening. Here's the new X-Men team. If you do want to read just the main issues for the gala, I'm looking at the back of this. Marauders 21, X-Men 21, which was this one, and then the next one is going to be Planet-Sized X-Men, and then Sword. So not many are the key issues.
Right, yeah.
So that brings us to the conclusion of today's episode of Comicstorian Weekly. If you guys want to support this show, go over to our Patreon, patreon.com/Comicstorian, where you can get early access and other great access to a bunch of cool stuff. YouTube membership at youtube.com/Comicstorian. Twitch subscriptions at twitch.tv/Comicstorian, where we film this live every Thursday at roughly 2 p.m. Eastern. We also do the Comics Experiment, as well as our superhero D&D. That's Andy. I'm Dan, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye.